that type of coaching doesn't come from other coaches. Most people only know like this amount of knowledge. They only have very little bit of knowledge, but you guys are so expansive in your knowledge. For me to have that for the price that I'm paying, and I've paid like $1,500 a month for one-on-one coaching, 2 hours a month. And you guys are giving tons more, tons of more in that. So in terms of value, I think somebody would be silly to not jump in. And I actually interviewed close to 40 agencies, dude, for 2 months before I ran into you guys. And the one thing that stuck out to me is that you were real. You know, you guys are just real. You're like real people. You don't just copy a script and paste it, copy, paste. Oh, dude, I think from the first day, man, when I started jumping into the VIP coaching and I started noticing that you guys were teaching things that were valid, right? Because I have a sales background, I have a coaching background, I have a real estate background, and you guys were speaking the same language. And the stuff that you were saying, I'm like, this makes total sense. When you guys communicate with heart. And that's what I hear, because I listen very differently. And consumers, they listen differently as well too. So just the fact that you guys communicated in that way and you taught things in a very sincere manner, for me, I was totally sold. And there's a ton of people out there trying to get my business, but I'm like so stuck with you guys in the sense that I love it because I feel like you guys are my brothers. The one thing that's helped me so far is all the training that you guys are offering 5 days a week in terms of automation, script writing, ad writing, everything. I don't get to make it to all of them. At first, I was like, okay, I got to do this and just let me soak it in as much as possible. And now I just sort of go to the ones that I feel like I can absorb the most amount of information because I'm learning myself and I'm learning the system. But by using Go High Level and everything really kicked off, it sort of like clicked in my head when you started doing the hot dog offers. When you started doing those trainings for Follow Up Monster and that, it's like, that's when the light bulb went off. Because here's the thing. When I coach and train real estate agents and I teach classes, they always ask me, Rob, what do you use to get expired listings? Now you guys can use my version of a follow-up monster, right? And that's it. We get to see you guys like 6-7 days a week. I feel like I'm seeing you guys all the time, literally, versus just a 20-minute training on a Thursday, and then that's it. So it's an accelerated program. And my last thing I would say is, as they say, shit or get off the pot, right? It's time to get serious about life. Instead of waiting for that point in your life where things get really, really, really difficult, where you've lost everything, man, get ahead of it. Start jumping in with people that actually know what they're talking about, know what they're doing, have done it themselves. And just what you were mentioning before, I love the fact that you guys are so diverse in so many ways of building your business.
What's going on, Facebook? How's everybody doing out in GSD land? We got my man, Robert. Say hello, Robert. Wave your hand.
What's happening?
We like to bring you guys what we call student spotlight interviews. You know, rising tide lifts all boats, guys. So when we have some people do some really good shit inside of the Get Shit Done program, we want to bring them out in front of you so that we're not just talking about our own successes, but we're teaching you guys about how other people have used the trainings that a lot of you have access to and that a lot of you want to develop even further to create success, to develop their own way. Because it's always good for you guys to see, okay, this person might be a little closer to where I am right now. How is he using these teachings and these strategies to be able to move forward? And so it's been an honor to be working with Robert for a while. He's gone from free group to our VIP Diamond Club up into the inner circle now for a little bit. So it's been, specific flywheel, if you guys have been paying any attention, type journey. So without further ado, first of all, guys, drop a hashtag live, by the way, hashtag Rob. If you've seen a couple other videos he's done in here, he's been around a little bit. So give the guys some love. And then without further ado, Robert, could you kind of just give them a little bit of an introduction about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Robert Carbucia. I've been in the real estate industry for 20 years now, and I've been doing coaching and training for over 20 years, close to 25 years. And actually just jumping into GSD before I was, focusing on what I'm doing now, which is really growing my coaching business. I was the team leader for Keller Williams in Fort Lauderdale. I ran a real estate office And then before that, I was a mega agent in New York City, where I was listing 2 to 3 homes per week. And this was strictly by calling expired listings and sphere of influence. And I did a lot of foreclosure, short sales, things like that in that time frame. So my background also is in neurolinguistic programming. So I am a trainer's trainer in neurolinguistic programming, and I'm 2 years into being a master trainer in NLP. So that's long story short about myself in terms of history, experience, and real estate.
Cool.
Yeah,
How does the, I've always been interested in, before we even dive into anything else, how has the NLP thing, do you think, helped you? So I know you do a lot of training and all that kind of stuff. And I know a lot of people who do NLP, and I've read a bunch of NLP books. I might even have one here somewhere. Anyway, I don't know where it is, but how is it? Do you think that that's given you a huge leg up in all of this space? I mean, even beyond the real estate, as you've expanded beyond that, has it helped you out a lot?
I think it's helped me a ton, man. I mean, I was thinking about this too. These are both very NLP trained in whatever classes, whatever courses you've taken, and look at the massive level of influence and success that you guys are having yourselves. And I can hear the NLP, I can read the NLP, I can detect it, in everything that you guys do. So kudos to you guys for putting it into practice. But for me, when I was lead generating, things like mimic, mirroring, and matching, tonality, rate of speech. If somebody sounded like they were from another country, then I would sound like I'm from their country. Things like that, which are NLP based and based on Ericksonian hypnotic language patterns. That stuff, it works. That's how I was able to set one appointment a day and have 2 to 3 listings taken per week. So it definitely helps. And then in terms of mindset, NLP with mindset, it helped me to get over my limiting beliefs. It helped me to get over old stories from the past that maybe kept me from playing a big game and playing small. So, but you guys talk about this all the time. So, you guys are definitely well-versed in neurolinguistic programming yourselves. I hear it all the time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So no, that's good. I mean, I see a huge, we've done so many training programs and I've read so many books. So it's always interesting to hear other people using it as well. So it's been interesting to watch what you've been able to do with it, even just from starting out too. So
yeah.
cool.
I mean, I wanted to go backwards in time for a second. It's like I don't even know how we met. I just remember I have like a little stand desk somewhere in this room. And I remember talking to you for the first time because I remember I had my dad behind me and the ClickFunnels Award thing. I remember talking to you, and that was probably like a year and a half ago or something. I think it was like around in November. Like how in the world you came into our free group from probably an ad, I imagine. And then somehow we're on a call. Like, I don't like what the fuck motivated you to like even talk to us?
Yeah. You know what? I got to tell you, man, the approach that you guys had was very unique, because what I did is in this industry, right? The agency industry and also the coaching industry, there's a lot of agencies looking for coaches, right? You always see it, 7-figure coaching business. We get you more leads. Well, I, in the past, had gotten burned by a few agencies or a few companies. And I said to myself, you know what? I need to just interview people. And I actually interviewed close to 40 agencies, dude, for 2 months before I ran into you guys. And the one thing that stuck out to me is that you were real. You guys are just real. You're like real people. You don't just copy a script and paste it, copy, paste, copy, paste. If you do that, it's a good script. It's a good dialogue that sounds reasonable. It sounds personable. It sounds like you care. It sounds like you're not trying to sell me something. So that caught my attention. And then you followed up. And then with the follow-up, I was like, wow, okay, this guy's a little bit different. And then that's from there, I set up the appointment. I think I got together with yourself or with Jason at first.
Yeah, Jason at first, and then it came to me, and then so goes the show, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's awesome. I'm glad you made that decision. No, that's super cool. So, I mean, when you mentioned you interviewed, you got screwed by somebody in the audience. Has anybody ever been burned by somebody? Is that something that's happened to you in the past? And have you gotten over it just yet? Because I mean, fuck, my gardener didn't show up today. I'm burned. I'm still going to get gardening help, right? Michael Jordan missed his shot, his very first basketball shot. I heard basketball didn't burn him. He kept going, and then look how that turned out. I think it's important about telling people, like, why did you keep going forward, knowing that you could be burned again by people like us, like coaches, right? In general, how did we stand out that we're not the burners?
Oh, dude, I think from the first day, man, when I started jumping into the VIP coaching, and 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 I started noticing that you guys were teaching things that were valid, right? Because I have a sales background, I have a coaching background, I have a real estate background, and you guys were speaking the same language. And the stuff that you were saying, I'm like, this makes total sense. And even though I stuck around, I think it was like for $7 or something like that the first month, and then I jumped into the 47 and kept going. After 2 or 3 months, I was like, these guys are the real deal, man. And the thing is too is, and and I want everybody to hear this, because here's the thing: when you guys communicate with heart, and that's what I hear, because I listen very differently, and consumers, they listen differently as well too. So just the fact that you guys communicated in that way and you taught things in a very sincere manner, for me, I was totally sold. And there's a ton of people out there trying to get my business, but I'm like so stuck with you guys in the sense that I love it, because I feel like you guys are my brothers, and I think that's the one thing that has made a huge difference for me.
Awesome. Okay. So like no, I appreciate that. That's fucking amazing. And that's truly what we do. Cause I mean, we being coaches, we have to like what we do. So we like to get to know people. We joke around, we have fun. Our behind the scenes video that we're going to make for everybody, they'll see that in a couple of days. It's going to be pretty funny. So talk to me like when we first started, like this is my impression, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. The very first question you asked me, it might've been while you're in the $47 a month thing. You gave me the most weirdest scenario saying like, hey, there's this movie thing and I need to do some things of NLP and that and that. And I kind of just understood, like, just tell me who you're selling, what the audience is, what do we need to offer them? How much do you want to charge? And let's find our fucking angles in. And then you're like, dude, that was awesome, because I've never done something where it's like movie scripts or NLP training for actors or whatever the fuck you were even talking about. Yeah. But then I just remember that it was like all these unique scenarios coming at me where it's like, all right, if Robert gets a fucking niche and stays focused on the niche, the sales process is repeatable, the product set is repeatable, the downsell, the upsell, the core offer, all fucking repeatable. And then when it's repeatable for you, it's repeatable for knowledge transfer, a hire, a virtual assistant, a salesperson, a setter, an accountant, whatever. Right. So walk through the process on how you got back into like coaching real estate agents.
Yeah. Well, basically, when I was switching over to wanting to get into the premium group with you guys, I was moving across the country. So I was going from Florida to Las Vegas, and then at the same time, I was coaching for one of the Keller Williams offices, because I had moved back to Florida from out of the country. And basically, they gave me an opportunity to do some work with them. I was sort of like just getting myself settled again. And then we parted ways. So we parted ways, and I'm like, fuck. It's like, okay, that there goes the income stream that I had. And not that I needed to totally depend on it, because for me, like I've mentioned before, I wanted this part of my life, right? I'll be 50 in January. I wanted this part of my life to be truly a part of my life where I did what I wanted to do that makes me happy. So that meant if I've got to cut down on my expenses, if I got to cut down on everything, I mean, then that's what I'm going to do, because I just want to do what I'm passionate about. Fuck everybody else, whatever they think. So when you and I started, that was my focus. I'm like, I got to make this work. But then I asked you guys a question. I said, look, can you guys really help me make this amount of money in this amount of time? And I don't know if it was you or if it was Jason, but the answer was, dude, you just, like duplicated everything we were doing and reverse engineered everything we were doing. And you're making like $2,000, $3,000 a month. So it's like, if we can help you get to that on Diamond, then what do you think we can fucking do when you're in the premier group? And you know what? I took a leap of faith, man. I was applying for loans. I couldn't get loans. So it's total faith. And then doing everything that you guys have taught me to do created more exposure to where I am still in communication with Origami Studios out here in Brooklyn, and we're looking to see at some point if we can do a pilot where I would be doing NLP coaching with people who are on the brink of having a breakdown in one of the TV shows. And then I would just be behind the scenes and coach them through the process in minutes and help them get back out
Right.
We're
So
working on that.
I mean, so good things happen when you make a commitment to yourself. But what I'm hearing is you had life in the way, right? There was loans, finances, not enough income, moving across the country. You have kids, you're getting older. I mean, all these different things and variables that are happening. But you took the leap of faith and you made the commitment. And then, of course, you got the risk match the reward, right? So everybody out there, you guys all have circumstances. Everybody has them. I do. Cody does. You do. We all have issues. We have life. There's children. There's bills. There's college debt. There's all kinds of shit. But I mean, the resourcefulness is the most important part. That's what I want you to take away from what Robert mentioned. To do whatever it is you want. You control any destiny you want. You just got to make that first commitment. Now, with all of those scenarios like in place, you could have still been committed to saying you have goals and not taking the actions and not taking that leap of faith of jumping in and getting more help. Like, what made you vulnerable enough to say, like, dude, enough's enough. I just want fucking help.
I think for me, right, there's a couple of things that I know about myself. I know that what I focus on expands. That's number one. I know that the kind of person that I am, and I learned this just from my history and over time, that if I stay committed to an action, even if it's the wrong action, I'm going to get some kind of results. And since there is no right or wrong, there's just simply feedback, then I just need to jump in and do it. It's like, you can't learn how to swim if you don't get in the water. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to get in the fucking water. So bottom line is this, is I know myself well enough that I pretty much will succeed at just about anything I put my mind to. I know it's going to be tough. I know it's going to be difficult. I know I'm going to hit ups and downs, but as long as I'm willing to take on those ups and downs, I knew I was going to be successful at this. And I want my 7-figure coaching business, right? That I'm committed to that. Balls to the wall.
No, I love that. I love the energy that people come with, especially when you have a crew and a team, and whether it's us or somebody else, it's like you have almost like this inner circle cult. It's like, we're fucking private. We're going to kick some ass. We're going to break motherfucking doors down. And that's where the energy comes out. And especially when you have money on the line. Cause like, I have a personal trainer. The only reason I'm going as hard as I do is because I'm paying the money. If I didn't pay him money, fuck the gym. You know, so because I can always do push-ups at home, but I'm not gonna do that shit. I need to pay somebody. I need accountability. I need somebody to push my limits and then do the damn thing.
Yeah, and that's the key thing I think people don't realize is they got to pay to play. They got to pay to play. Yeah, people got to pay to play, man. You know.
Can we reveal some secrets? Because I want people to kind of understand like what you know, like what we know, what you know, and let them know. Because like when I say it, somebody can doubt it. But when it comes from a student's point of view, I don't know what you're going to say back to me. But like, if there was like the one or two things that are either strategy, tactic, or the most important things that have helped you so far, what would you say those things are?
I think the one thing that's helped me so far is all the training that you guys are offering 5 days a week in terms of automation, script writing, ad writing, everything. I don't get to make it to all of them. At first, I was like, okay, I got to do this and just let me soak it in as much as possible. And now I just sort of go to the ones that I feel like I can absorb the most amount of information because I'm learning myself and I'm learning the system. But by using Go High Level and everything really kicked off, it sort of like clicked in my head when you started doing the hot dog offers. When you started doing those trainings for Follow Up Monster and that, it's like, that's when the light bulb went off. Because here's the thing, when I coach and train real estate agents and I teach classes, they always ask me, Rob, what do you use to get expired listings? And my former coach was Ren Jones, who's the founder of Vulcan 7. So I always just say, yeah, just go ahead and use Vulcan 7. And I get affiliate referrals from that. Now with Follow Up Monster and what you guys created, instead of me saying Vulcan 7, I said, look, now you guys can use my version of a Follow Up Monster, right? and that's it. So it's like, it's just, that became my little extra thing that gave me the confidence. It gave me the ability to take it to the next level, because then I started customizing what you guys created. And now I have it set up that the moment somebody says, sure, Rob, I'd love to set up a time to do a training with you, I just put them in my pipeline and it does massive follow-up, bro, for 2 or 3 days. It's like it hammers them. Hey, listen, I want to make sure we book a time. I want to make sure that we do this. Time is coming up. We got about 2 weeks left. We got about 3 weeks left, and you need time to market. So I'm using the follow-up monster model just to be able to set those appointments. And it takes about 7 follow-ups, Rahul. So you imagine the amount of time and energy I am saving by what you've created. So thank you for that. I always say thank you.
Like 2 weeks ago, you said something pretty fucking awesome because you're like laughing like a child, and I'm like, dude, we're on a coaching call. Shut up, dude. And then you're like, I got to share something, and you're like, just like, dude, my phone's blowing up. I'm getting leads. It's booking appointments. It's doing its thing, and I'm like, now, like Robert's automated. Now he's like Cody's picture, like it was a robot before when he turns his photo off. It like you're half robot, half man, right? Like Vinsanity, half man, half amazing. So now we can be in 2 places at once. Now we can serve more people. Now we can actually not hire that setter too early. Now we can actually just leverage our time more effectively and literally make more money in less time. That's the whole point of this whole fucking thing, right? We don't want to be 80 then die. A lot of you guys out there will turn 80 and fucking hate the whole journey. Not us. Right. We're going to make money. Right. We're going to go on vacations. We're going to eat fucking steaks. We're going to do good shit along the way. Right. And that's what the systems are. That's business. Right.
And it works. It works good because now the way I have it set up is the moment that I'm in a class, I just mark the person as absent or mark the person as present. Like I give them a tag as I'm taking attendance. Yeah. And then a separate automation goes off for the person who's absent, and a separate automation goes off for a person who's present. And it does a post follow-up to set up an integration call right after the training is done. So it's like this thing is morphing into some like almost like 3 or 4 salespeople. And that, it's like, wow, this is fucking awesome. So because of that, I started to notice what my ratios were. So I know that if I have at least 15 people in a classroom, at least 25% of them can become breakthrough coaching clients. And each breakthrough coaching client is $5,000 each.
That's amazing. So now that you have the systems, you have the product set, you have the offers, your model also is you have the downsell. So now we got the structural approach, right? So the foundation is set.
Otherwise, someone has a
what?
Fly. Come on, man. You know
what? Let's do hangman. Like Cody gave the first word, so fly, and there's a second word to it, and like let's pretend like it's on a car. It's on a car. So anybody out there in Facebook land, participate. #live, #replay, #motherfucking Rob, and then write whatever the fly is. Oh yeah. This is the best interview ever. All right, the flywheel. Okay. So did you feel like right now, like from where you were before to where you are now, if you can like rank the confidence level difference from before to now on being able to have a predictable way to get your next customer paying you? What did it look like from a percentage level before on a scale of 1 to 10, and then right now today?
I'd say before, man, I was like a 2, bro, in the coaching business. With real estate sales, yeah, I'm a master at that. But in coaching and building it like this, I was a 2. Now, I feel like I'm a solid 8. Oh. Now I feel like confident, man. Like I don't want to say too much, but it's like my cojones went from like, wow. And I was like, yo, man, I got this.
Ice bath cojones to fucking humidity cojones, right? It's like expands in heat.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, yo, I got this, man. Now it's just, let's scale this. Let's put some Red Bull into this, man, and make it awesome.
Now, to kind of look at the consequence of inaction for a second, because we always have to look at both things. Like, let's just say you were in our free group, you didn't do anything, you didn't trust anybody, you kept that same feeling of sensation. All coaches are burned. Let me go, like you mentioned, 40 coaches you interviewed. Let me go coach the rest of the coaches in the rest of the world. What if you didn't do anything? How do you think things would be right now for you? And you just did it the way you were doing it?
No, dude, I would have thrown in the towel, bro. Yeah, if I didn't follow with you guys, I would have just quit on it and just get back into listing and selling real estate. So you guys
with that, let's say you did go back into if you did go back into listing and selling real estate, like, is that something you'd even want to do though?
No, No, I can't stand it, dude.
Yeah.
I can do it really well, but it's just there's so much stuff that that is involved in it that for me, it's like, listen, I lived that life. I did really, really well. We were doing 200 deals a year for like 5 years. And it's like, okay, great, fantastic, but I didn't
Now
want
you
to go
can
down
travel,
the route.
right? Now,
Yeah,
you're not a tree with roots in one fucking city where you feel married to that tree, and if you go, you're losing deals, right? So it's like I get that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can go anywhere I want. It's just a beautiful life. So I'm super grateful.
That's amazing, man. Like now I want to give away. So now we got the automation stuff, right? So now we feel fucking confident. Like give another value bomb to the audience that you've learned through the journey of working together that they can benefit from.
I think the one thing that the audience could benefit from is really, really, I'm sure you guys have read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And one of the habits there is begin with the end in mind. Right. So I think if folks would just begin with the end in mind, which is what do I want to happen at this step? And what I do is I buy those big 24 by 36 Post-it notes. And when you look at my wall in the bedroom, it's just full of giant Post-it notes. And I say to myself, okay, I want to have, 10 breakthrough sessions per month, right? That's $50,000. So in order for me to do that, I reverse engineer and I go the steps back. What do I need to have? So that means I need to have at least 3 trainings. I need to have this amount of people attend to each training. So I'm setting my own goals. And then in addition to that, my reverse engineer part of it, or working backwards, as they say, is how do I want the conversation to be? So the moment that I'm done with the class, I need to have some sort of a system that follows up with them after the class. Why? Because I'm hobnobbing, I'm shaking hands. I may want to go take a nap after the class, right? I may want to just relax and just be myself or go get a drink. But what happens is typically lead follow-up is where it falls short. So by using the systems that I've learned from you guys, now I'm putting that into place until the person says, hey, Rob, let's set up the appointment. And that's the key. That's I think is the missing piece for any business. And so beginning with the end in mind, reverse engineer your steps to help you get what you want, and pay attention to what works and what doesn't work. Because I see a lot of people that they just use templates and they copy and paste and they send it out, but then they never go back to see, did it work? Did anybody click on the link? Did anybody open the link? Did anybody book an appointment and then make modifications? Realtors do the same thing. They just grab the template that comes from their office and then they start blasting it out to 100 people. Like I think it was the last year you said, okay, guys, it's Halloween for all those real estate agents that didn't know it's Halloween or it's Thanksgiving. I remember
that pumpkin spice latte email. Like, thank you for the time change email. My iPhone does it automatically.
Thank you for the time change email. And it's like, that's right.
It's just pure laziness and ignorance. It's not the year 2000 where any realtor can get fucking rich. It's business now. Now skill set prevails over mediocrity. And that's the beautiful part about competition is that's so competitive in the coaching space, the real estate space, what you do, anything's competitive, like fucking coffee. It's all competitive. And the skill gets paid more. People skillful, artful, like an athlete. Look at guys like Michael Jordan, LeBron, all the people we've ever heard of, and look at the coaches in the space or the people who did well in life that right now. What do they have in common? Number one, they want more out of life. They're driven. They're hungry. They do what it takes. They sacrifice the shit out of stuff, but they have mentors that got them there. It's super duper important because there's no way in fucking hell I would work with somebody that mentors themselves. They have to have a higher power above them that's at a mountaintop ahead of them that they can give me that fucking knowledge that they're already paying for. Some of the people that I've had have spent money with Tony Robbins for $1 million a year. I'm like, dude, I'm about to learn $1 million education from this dude for a fraction of the freaking price. All right. Distilled down to what works.
Yeah.
So that's kind of also another ancillary value too. Let's do a little bit of a lightning round really quick. Cody, get some questions ready. We're just going to rapid fire question stuff. Whatever comes to the top of your mind, ask it. It could be like, hey, all right, Rob, favorite color?
Blue. Okay,
perfect. That's my favorite color too. Who do you like better, me or Cody?
Both.
What's your favorite call? What's your favorite call every week to show up to?
Oh, my favorite call to show up to? Oh gosh, man. You know, amazingly enough, dude, I love the VIP stuff, man, that you guys do every Thursday, man. I don't
Every
know, maybe
Thursday.
it's
The link.
nostalgic for me.
We're dropping the Diamond Club link. Anybody who's watching this that's not in Diamond Club, don't even like read the landing page. Just put your credit card information in it. You're gonna get it for $47 a month. Super cheap, inexpensive. It's fucking awesome. All right, so we got Diamond Club. You like? What about like Inner Circle call? What's your favorite Inner Circle call that's helped you the most?
I think the one that started me off at least was Saturdays. You know,
Savage Saturdays.
Yeah, Savage Saturdays was definitely awesome, and I like also when Cody does the one on Fridays where it's
marketing offers,
ads, or marketing offers, but also teaching us how to do the content calendar.
Yeah.
So that one and the content calendar days, because I just overcomplicate things, man. And he just makes it so simple. So
damn, none of those calls are mine either.
You're Savage Saturday, man.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Fuck, I forgot.
We're the favorite coaches. I don't know.
That backfired. All right. favorite city, favorite coast, west or east?
Oh, dude, you know what? I love the West Coast, man.
Cool. Got it. All right. Cody, you got any questions you want to ask on the rapid fire? Because then I got another one before we wrap.
Favorite ever client?
Favorite ever client?
Yep.
I would say Moxie. I'm working with her right now. She's a acupuncturist.
And now, why is she your favorite client?
Man, she just does what I ask her to do. She follows through with it. She should be at $50,000, actually $80,000 a month in business, because we're focusing on making her the first, acupuncturist that's making $1 million in income per year here in New York City.
Cool.
I love it. I love it when you people you're using the skills that you've learned to give those same skills on fire with your own modifications to your own marketplace. That's what it's all about, is knowledge transfer, skill uplift. And then you become a high paying consultant. Because I would even argue to say that whatever you're charging her, take a piece of the business too, 10% of revenue collected. And then you get yourself a fucking raise. And now you got even more skin in the game. If they hit the milli, you can have another $150K as a bonus, right? And they'll be happily paying you that a year. If you're the hand that feeds the mouth, you become the most important person in the room.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah. And because we can go over massaging those, because we do those deals with a bunch of people too, where they pay us a retainer and then a percentage of top line sales. And then ultimately they fire us from the retainer and it's only top line sales. And then we crush. So it just makes everybody win way more, because they make more, we make more. It's a scale together. We lose together, win together, and we like to win. So there's a lot of people that need help. They've been crushed by another coach. They're in mountains of debt. They went to college and still owe that shit back. They bought things they don't need. Things don't work. There's people who feel like a victim of society. Everything they've touched hasn't sold, but they have dreams, they have goals. What do you tell that person that has all these different excuses to tell them to not do something? What do you tell that person who's on the fence of considering the GSD to have a conversation with us, or join the Diamond Club, or even jump right to Inner Circle and get the juice? What do you say to that person? Yeah,
I would say, listen, wherever you are in your life and in your journey, it's not going to change until you do something different, right? It's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And I would say the difference between Diamond Club and also, the GSD premium group, the Inner Circle, is the fact that it's more bang for your buck. Number one. Number two, we get to see you guys 6-7 days a week. I feel like I'm seeing you guys all the time, literally, versus just a 20-minute training on a Thursday, and then that's it. So it's an accelerated program. And my last thing I would say is, as they say, shit or get off the pot, right? It's time to get serious about life. Instead of waiting for that point in your life where things get really, really, really difficult, where you've lost everything, man, get ahead of it. Start jumping in with people that actually know what they're talking about, know what they're doing, have done it themselves. And just what you were mentioning before, I love the fact that you guys are so diverse in so many ways of building your business. That type of coaching doesn't come from other coaches. Most people only know this amount of knowledge. They only have very little bit of knowledge, but you guys are so expansive in your knowledge that for me to have that for the price that I'm paying, and I've paid like $1,500 a month for one-on-one coaching, 2 hours a month. And you guys are giving tons more, tons of more in that. So in terms of value, I think somebody would be silly to not jump in.
We don't like silly people, right? So silly people, right? So come on in. Just drop us a DM. You know how to find us. We'll be happily open the kimono, show you what's up. If you like it, you invest. If you don't like it, good for you too. We'll still love and educate you inside of this group. Robert, been a pleasure. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day. Thanks for Cody for participating so much on this live as well. That is the best. This is the least he's talked. I guess I had to give him a breath because he's been coaching all morning and he has another session at 2 that I'm sure he'll be emceeing quite a bit of. And we will see you guys on the next GSD Student Spotlight, which is going to be next Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific. That's going to be our regular time where you get to hear amazing student stories just like Robert. And people who have been there, done that, been in your circumstance, decided that fear is just something they're going to kick to the motherfucking curb and just put success as the top of that building block, build skyscraper businesses together. All right. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Tuning out.
All right.